So Karina literally picked out her bouncer on top of the table and pointed it out and had me get it down for her, which is awesome because I'm glad she wants to be in it today. So I gave her a small bottle of water that's obviously not able to open. My baby is under 12 months and is not getting any water until probably 2, 3. I don't want her to have water. So there's no need for it as long as she's nursing, and, you know, I want her to be as smart as possible. So no water. All right, you want out? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whee! All right, so I'm doing a hamburger helper meal tonight, and I added 2 cups of rice to that, put 4 cups of water. So we went from having a small hamburger helper meal to having as much hamburger helper as James wants to eat. Obviously, he is asleep, and I did go back and forth with should I actually make dinner tonight or not because he is sleeping. But I decided to make dinner because if he wakes up, I don't want him to be hungry. So this is what we're making, and that's what it is. I actually already threw away the box into the recycling bin, but I'll get that out. See, boiled, it's Cajun chicken. You should like it. And like I said, we went from having a tiny puny amount to having a lot. So you should like it. It should be awesome. It's not as concentrated with the sauce and stuff too. So they give you a lot of sauce in the hamburger helper, and it comes out very thick. So it's nice to spread it out a little bit and have a meal that lasts longer than just one meal too. So. Alright, well that's it for my update. This is all that we're doing. We're just making dinner, which is 15 minutes away. Karina woke up at 8:30, 8:26. So by 10:30 we should be in bed and reading books because she's usually up for a 2-hour stretch between nap time and bedtime. Doesn't matter what time she goes down for a nap. When she wakes up, she's up for a 2-hour stretch usually. And I fed Squish and I'm making dinner. Don't think I'm going to eat anything else for tonight. I've had enough today, I think. Might have a small bowl of Cajun chicken, I'm not sure. Or I have, you know, soup or something in the refrigerator too if I wanted it. So, but yeah, beautiful night tonight. Look at you chewing on that bottle. And, you know, lots of good things going on in this house. Squish is in the other room meowing. Let's go check on Squish and see what he is up to. Let's go see. My baby. She's like the happiest baby ever, but I never leave her. Oh, you're meowing at the closet door? You don't want to go into the closet? No, because, no, I'm not letting you in the closet. So, tomorrow, Karina and I are going to walk down to a few stores. I'm going to get some poster board, I'm going to get some tiny cups, I'm going to get, we have $80 left for the month. So there's that. Because I spent $60. I don't think we had any. We had 120, I think, for the month. And I spent 20 at the laundromat. I spent 20 on gas, and I spent. We went out to dinner after doing laundry. James was like, "It's 8:30. Let's just go out to eat at Wendy's." And I'm like, "I'll just make you food at the house." And he was like, "No. I want Wendy's." So we went out to Wendy's and we spent $20 there. So that was $60 in a single day. I know, it adds up very quickly. And we have to do something about the car. The car has to get fixed. So I'm going to ask the guys at the parts store if they have a reverse drill that we could borrow because James stripped the one screw and the top of it's off of it. And we have to get the mount to work and the inside screw off of there. So we can do that over the weekend, and I can stop by and see them tomorrow as I walk past them. But I'm not going to be able to drive the car. But I am going to get poster board and stuff. Next weekend is going to be my first yard sale of this season, and I am hoping it goes off without a hitch. I'm going to get 2 more things of nylon, maybe 3 more things of nylon, and put up my nylon outside. I hope the neighbors don't complain or something. And I'm going to start advertising for the 1st, because that's next Saturday. And I'm going to be serving all kinds of food and drinks. And I need to get Gatorade, and I need to get water, and I need to get ice. And I'm just so excited for this yard sale. Like, I really am. So, you know. Alright, well that's it pretty much for my update. Don't really have too much to update on, you know. I'm just a mama, And before that, I was just a housewife. So before that, I was working all kinds of crazy jobs. I kind of wish I started recording a lot sooner to show off the types of meals I used to make. I used to make stromboli like every other weekend because it's my favorite, and homemade pizza as travel food. So every time we went someplace, I was making pizza and stromboli together because they're so good and so easy to travel with. And since they're so good, you're not tempted to buy food out. Really, that was the thing, because it has the homemade ranch dressing with it, the homemade stromboli, like the homemade pizza, and it was just so good. And having that with homemade wings, ooh baby, everything was so good. And I used to make my own homemade hoagies, and I used to make muffata. Oh my gosh, the muffata is so good. It's, I don't know if you guys know what that is or not. It's just slices of cheese, slices of meat with olives and peppers and onions, and you wrap it up in saran wrap for a single night, and you put it in your refrigerator, and the next day you eat it, and oh my gosh, muffata is so good. I used to make a bunch of I think pot roast and stuff like that I still do now. But I'm telling you, I used to make a lot of hamburgers, and we used to make a lot of juice, and we used to make a lot of things that I wish I I have a bunch of photos, but the videos are so much better, you know? Oh, and my spaghetti sauce was to die for. Like, it was so good, because I start off with my base, obviously. I use spinach, though, instead of celery, so it was spinach, carrots, and onions as my base, and then I built it up from there, and it was just, oh, it's so good. And what else was really good that I used to make a lot? I used to make a lot of homemade breads and biscuits and hoagies and stuff like that too. So it was just, I used to cook a lot. I used to spend most of my hours during the day cooking. Now I spend a lot of hours like walking and hanging out with my baby and reading books and playing with blocks and, you know, stuff like that. So I think it's a very, very good trade-off, and I like it. Like, I used to when I was younger. Okay, I went from being a kid in school to being 13, and yeah, when you're 12, 13 years old, you get your first job. So I started working, and I continued working until I was 19. I took that 18. I took that summer off, and I started working from 19 to 26. I worked and worked and worked and worked and worked because I wanted to make money. I wanted to make lots and lots of money, and so I did. I made lots and lots of money. But I worked every single hour that I possibly could. As soon as I left home, I went to college. And I filled up my days with work. In the morning, I was a lab tech. Then I went to work. Or then I went to school. I went to work, and then I went to school. And I was walking. I didn't own a car. I didn't own a cell phone until I got out there into Philly. I bought myself a cell phone to have a way to communicate with other people. And I was like, oh, look at this. And it was like one of those blue phones that had A through Z on it. And it looked like a toy. It looked like a Game Boy. And it was a phone, and it was pretty cool. And a lot of people liked it because I had the A through Z on it back then. So I had the blue one, so people had the orange one, but I picked up the blue one. What are you doing? And give me that. And so I went from being a lab tech to being an admissions representative to working at UPS at night, doing all three of those things along with school. And then, don't do that. And then I stopped working at the lab tech job because I couldn't make it on Thursdays and Friday nights. I had to be there, so I couldn't make it. Tommy was like, choose. I chose UPS because it was longer duration, because Tommy was our resident advisor, and it was a CEDAR program. It was a school program. And so I stopped working for the school as a lab tech, and kept on with UPS. And then I did Leslie Rosen Catering Company, who's awesome. And from there, I was also doing Jackie Drew's. I was doing mailing lists for my schools and stuff like that 3 times a year. But that was just like an additional add-on job that I could do 3 times a year. So that was pretty awesome too. And then after I finished school, I replaced my school hours with VitaPro. So that was pretty awesome. I was the general manager there. And I left UPS in April 2010, and our school got bought out for the admissions representative job, and I actually lost my job in April 2010 at the school as well. The vitamin company closed down in 2009, 2009, January 2009, it closed down. And so I worked there from May 2007 to January 2009 till we closed down. And at the vitamin store, VitaPro. And so, yeah, and I worked at Leslie Rosen Catering Company until 2010. I worked, and then I was working with Supportive Behavioral Resources. I had 4 clients there. And that was after my short stint with Life Touch Portrait Studios. I did not like working for them. Leah Levin was our general manager for Life Touch Portrait Studios inside of the Targets and JCPenney's, and she was having me steal my girls' hours. I was actually the manager there, and I demoted myself. I'm like, I can't do this. It was the first job I've ever been asked to compromise my morals for, and they wanted me to take my girl Samantha and be like, oh, we don't need you right now. Go walk around the store for an hour and then come back. She couldn't leave the store. I wasn't allowed to pay her. I had to steal some of her hours, which I absolutely refused to. I never did it. And Caitlin Strauss, or Caitlin, whatever her last name, I think it is Strauss, she took over being a manager there. And I was like, good for you, because she was stealing from the store, she was stealing from the company, she was stealing from everything. And her father was like an enforcer at the Target that we were working at. I don't know what he was. He was like, he worked as one of the, like, cop people inside the store. And so she was stealing from the store, and I believe that he knew it. And he was stealing from the company, and I don't know if the company knew or not, but I wasn't going to say anything. I don't care. And Danielle was like a really good friend of mine that worked actually in Plymouth Meeting, and I wound up, I demoted myself. I wasn't going to steal anyone else's hours. I wasn't doing that. There's no way. I mean, I don't know how people sleep at night. So anyway, I quit that job, and they tried to be like, oh, we'll give you a raise, just stay. I'm like, why? There's nothing here for me to stay for. I'm not staying here. And so I immediately, that was the shortest job I've ever had. I immediately left that job. I went into David's Bridal, Timeless Images at David's Bridal. I was actually a consultant for them for a short stint. I mean, those little places, though, I never worked in little places like that before. That wasn't like family owned, it's like corporate, but it's not like a big place like David's and Target, Life Touch Portrait Studios, whatever you want to call them, or JCPenney's is Life Touch Portrait Studios as well. They're the same company that owns them. I mean, I never worked for mediocre, places like that before, like mediocre corporations like that before. I didn't realize how cutthroat it was, and it just wasn't for me with how harsh it was and how, basically they're duping people out of money. And it's sad. They'll give you extra portraits at the end if you pay for them, and they'll just throw them away if you don't. No. It's heartbreaking and it's sad. And I couldn't even do it, whatever. So, yeah, I had a very short stint for the Life Touch Portrait Studios. I had a very short stint for David's. I quit both of those jobs. I've never quit a job in my life, but I was like, I'm worth more than this at both those jobs, and I'm not worth this. This headache and whatever it was. It's just blue. It was horrible. So yeah, and I immediately replaced those jobs. I was working with Supportive Behavioral Resources, great company, unless you need something. Basically, my car got hit, and I was like, oh yeah, be off for a few months, I'm going to collect unemployment, whatever. Well, they can't go against the company, so you can't collect unemployment. And so, they have to do what's in the best interest of the company. So I filed for unemployment because I asked Sue, who was the HR person, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to file for unemployment. And she's like, oh yeah, do your thing, pay your bills, get your car back on the road. Because I was at work when my car got hit the day before Thanksgiving in 2011. And you know, so I was like, okay, so I filed for unemployment, and I got it a little bit, and then I missed the paperwork, I missed the court hearing, because I was down at Tony's house, and it came to James's house, and James was supposed to mail me the paperwork, and James can't do anything on time. I don't know why I was relying on him, so I lost everything. You know, like, it sucked. I lost my apartment, I lost my car for a long time, I lost everything for a long time. And I was bouncing around in my car after I got it back. Like, I went down to Allison's house a lot. I went a few other places. I stayed places every once in a while. You know, it was just what it was, basically. So, yeah. I don't know. A bunch of bad stuff happened. You know. But yeah, that's basically my life, you know, a big rundown of my adult life, what I did. But then after that, in 2011, 12, 2011, September, I think it was 2011, I stopped working, basically. I did. I'm just like, I'm finished, you know, working outside the house. I worked outside the house for so many years, and, you know, I had enough money saved for a little bit to just not be working, and I couldn't get unemployment, but it was whatever, and, you know, it was fun. And then I started being a housewife and homemaker, and now I'm a housewife and homemaker with a baby, so not too shabby of a life. Yeah. I don't think that a woman's meant to be everything, though. I don't think a woman's meant to be a housewife and homemaker and working outside the house and taking care of kids. And, like, no. You only have so many hours in the day to focus on so many things. So you kind of have to pick and choose. It's just the way that it is. Alright, that's it for my update of rambling.